experiences and emphatic statements reminding victims of their worth. The spoken word poem drives home an empowering message of self-esteem and strength. Let's welcome Alice, Ling, and Eleanor to perform to this day.
When I was a kid, I used to think that pork chops and karate chops were the same thing. I thought they were both pork chops.
And because my grandmother thought it was cute, and because they were my favorite, she let me keep doing it.
Not really a big deal.
One day, before I realized that fat kids are not designed to climb trees, I fell out of a tree and bruised the right side of my body. I didn't want to tell my grandmother about it because I was afraid I'd get in trouble for playing somewhere I shouldn't have been.
A few days later, the gym teacher noticed the bruises, and I got sent to the principal's office. From there, I was sent to another small room with a really nice lady who asked me all kinds of questions about my life at home.
I saw no reason to lie. As far as I was concerned, life was pretty good. I told her, whenever I'm sad, my grandmother gives me karate chops. This led to a full-scale investigation, and I was removed from the house for 3 days, until they finally decided to ask me how I got the bruises.
News of this silly little story quickly spread through the school, and I earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops.
I wasn't the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called.
And we grew up believing that no one would ever fall in love with us, that we'd be lonely forever.
That we'd never find someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in the tool shed.
So broken heartstrings bled the blues, as we tried to empty ourselves so we would feel nothing.
Don't tell me that hurts less than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something surgeons can't cut away, that there's no way for it to metastasize.
It does.
She was 8 years old, our first day of primary 3,
When she was called ugly.
They moved both of us to the back of the class so we would stop getting bombarded by spitballs.
But the school halls were a battleground where we found ourselves outnumbered day after wretched day. We used to stay inside for recess because outside was worse. Outside, we had to rehearse running away or learn to stay still like statues, giving no clue that we were there. In primary 5, we take the sign to her desk that read, "Beware of dog." To this day,
Despite a loving husband, she doesn't think she's beautiful because of a birthmark that takes up a little less than half her face. Kids used to say that she looked like a wrong answer that someone tried to erase but couldn't get the job done.
and they'll never understand that she's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom, because they see her heart before they see her skin, because she's only always ever been amazing.
He
Was a broken branch grafted onto a different family tree
adopted.
because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was 3 when he became a mixed dream
Of 1 part left alone,
and 2 parts tragedy.
Started therapy in 8th grade.
had a personality made of tests and pills.
Lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliffs.
Thought was suicidal.
A tidal wave of antidepressants and an adolescence of being caught clever. 1 part
Because of the pills,
99 part
because of the cruelty.
He tried to kill himself in grade 10, and the kid would still go home to mom and dad had the audacity to tell him,
Get over it!
as if depression is something that can be remedied by any of the contents found in the first aid kit.
To this day, he has a stick of dynamite lit from both ends. Could describe to you in detail the way the sky bends in the moments before it's about to fall. And despite an army of friends who all call him an inspiration,
He remains a conversation piece between people who can't understand that sometimes becoming drug-free.
Has less to do with addiction.
and more to do with sanity. We weren't the only kids who grew up this way. To this day, kids are still being called names. The classics were,
Hey stupid.
Hey, retard.
seems like every school is an arsenal of names, getting updated every year.
And if a kid chooses to break in school, do people still hear?
Or are they just the background noise of a soundtrack stuck on repeat? Whenever people say things like,
Kids can be cruel.
every school was a big top circus tent, and the pecking order went,
From acrobats to lion tamers.
From clowns to carnies.
these were all miles away from who we really were. We were freaks,
Lobster claw boys and bearded ladies.
oddities, juggling depression and loneliness, playing solitaire spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal.
But at night, while the others slept, we kept walking the tightrope.
It was practice, and yes, some of us fell.
But I want to tell them that all of this
It's just debris.
left over when we finally decide to smash all
Maybe they decided to pick you last for basketball or everything.
Maybe you used to bring bruises and broken teeth to show and tell, but never told.
Because how can you hold your ground if everyone around you wants to bury you beneath it? You
We
have to believe that they were wrong.
They have to be wrong.
Why else would we still be here?
We stem from a root planted in the belief that we are not what we are called, that we are not empty cars sitting empty and stalled out on the highway.
And if in some way we are,
Don't worry.
we only got out to walk and get gas.
We are graduating members from the class of Screw Off, we made it!
Not the faded echoes of voices crying out. Names will never hurt me.
Of course, they did.
But our lives will only ever always continue to be
A balancing act.
That has less to do with pain
and more to do with beauty.